Today, we're diving into the incredible story of how a merchant's son, who was all set to join the family textile business, ended up becoming one of the most influential legal scholars in history.
I mean, how does that even happen? How does a young guy whose future is seemingly laid out for him in the world of trade pivot to become this giant of Islamic thought? It's a pretty amazing journey, and it all starts in a place you might not expect.
So, first things first, who are we talking about here? This is Imam Abu Hanifa, or Al-Nu'man ibn Thabit. He's the founder of the Hanafi school of Islamic law, a school of thought that millions, and I mean millions of Muslims follow to this very day. So yeah, his influence is absolutely massive.
All right, so let's set the scene. We're in Kufa, Iraq, way back in 699 CE. Now, Kufa wasn't just some random town. It was a major hub for business, but also, and this is key, a huge center for Islamic scholarship. This is where Abu Hanifa was born into a respected Persian family. His dad was a successful cloth merchant, so he had a comfortable childhood, raised with these really strong values of honesty and just plain old hard work.
So naturally, everyone just assumed he'd follow in his father's footsteps, right? His future was supposed to be in textiles and trade. And that early experience really taught him discipline and a sense of responsibility, skills that, believe me, would come in super handy later on.
But then, you have one of those chance encounters that just changes everything. A really famous scholar at the time, Al-Shabi, just happened to notice something special about this young merchant. He saw a sharp, curious mind that really stood out from the crowd. And Al-Shabi gave him this simple but incredibly powerful piece of advice. He just said, "You should sit with the scholars and learn from them." That's it. One sentence. And it completely changed the entire course of his life.
And boy, did he take that advice to heart. He dedicated himself to studying under his main teacher, Imam Hamad ibn Abi Sulaiman, for an incredible 18 years. Just let that sink in for a second. 18 years with one mentor. Now that is some serious dedication.
And his education was the real deal. He dove deep into the Quran and Hadith, he mastered Islamic law, and he perfected his Arabic. But here's the game changer. He also focused intensely on logical thinking and reasoning. He wasn't just memorizing stuff. He was learning how to think, how to analyze, and how to tackle really complex problems.
And you know what's really interesting? Even while he was deep in his studies, he never totally quit the family business. He did this on purpose, to stay financially independent. He wanted to make sure his pursuit of knowledge was pure and sincere, not swayed by money or influence from powerful rulers.
And this whole idea of sticking to his principles wasn't just a side note. It was everything to him. So what are the big lessons, the core values we can pull from his early life that are still so relevant for us today?
I mean, his story is just packed with timeless lessons. You see the power of just listening to one good piece of advice. You see the incredible value of respecting your teachers, 18 years worth. And those values he picked up in the marketplace, honesty, patience, hard work, they became the very foundation of his entire intellectual legacy. It all connects.
And that kind of brings us to a final thought here. Imam Abu Hanifa's whole life was transformed because he heard one piece of advice and actually acted on it. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What advice is out there for you right now that could completely change your life if you just decided to listen?